Right, legends, welcome to the crypto and FX review. Might as well do it all in one. We'll start with crypto first. So we're still at big resistance here. Okay, hence why I took the short on FUSD. Now that short is getting squeezed a bit, but it's still not invalidated just yet, and the risk is defined. Like I said in the previous review, that was if we're wrong, we're gonna know soon. And if we're right, it's probably going to be a decent sort of pullback. Okay, still think bigger picture we go up, but if you're going to trade, you can trade both sides, or just wait for the pullback or wait for the breakout if you're not confident taking shorts. Now we've just been hovering around. Nothing's really happening. Let's be honest. It's just, look at this. These few day candles. We milked most of this leg. Then you gotta wait a little while. Like here, you know, when market moves up, and it's these 2-3 days that people get chopped up, and then it does the trending move. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna observe this now. Obviously, a clean break and hold above here. Then we're gonna be taking the longs. Target 1, target 2. At one point, this was an impossible target for many. Well, here now. Now the question is, if it does pull back, is it going to be towards this level? Is it going to be towards the mid-range, the trend line, or all the way back down? We'll take it level to level. Hence, I'm going with this chart here, where I told you guys a copy. This chart we used months ago, but it seems to be the one that's been respected the most, and that is July's low, but not exactly July's high. It's the first high made. Okay, so if I look at this. This is the first low, and that's the initial high. Oops, daisy, wrong color. First low made. I prefer this low. This is July's low, and then that was the first high made, and that seems to be the range high. So I've gone with that. It doesn't exactly have to be month high or low, but sometimes it works out to be better this way. Now, if I look at the mid range, what's capping the market? Mid range exactly. Everybody with me so far? It's something simple, just going simple. Okay, so all I've done is you mark out the mid-range. So on a separate feed, use a BitMEX feed on a separate chart layout, just so you're in sync with my levels, because sometimes the other exchanges have different levels and it causes confusion. Do this. So this is where, funnily enough, this mid-range caps this downside, that's support on the other chart. After that, we've got the midpoint there, and then we got there. So we've got clear objectives we don't have to even think about. Okay, that lines up with SR. So make sure you have those levels on a separate chart. You can do it after the stream. Now for the trigger plans. Now, if I am not sure what's going on here, this look at that. Look at the daily calm close below. It's capped within there. We can just say, you know, leave it within this region until it breaks out either way. So what would that look like? So obviously a clean breakout, a hold above, we're going to go for target 1, target 2. A clean break below here, we're going to go for target 1, target 2, possibly target 3. So we know where we're going to look for the longs and shorts. Aggressive entries, okay, maybe within here, but I've already got F on. There's no point me taking Bitcoin when I've got F short on. The correlated pairs, I might as well just be short Bitcoin. It makes no difference really. Unless you're going to reduce your risk, that's different. But I can't take another trade now. Me personally, I've reached my capacity. So now, if we look at this, it's like a broadening wedge pattern, isn't it? I mean, on this phase is different, but you get the picture. That kind of pattern. Usually they do this. They resolve like this, don't they? Usually. Agreed? Now we can go for a trigger plan. But we know we're wrong. As long as we know where we're wrong, we're good. I mean, it happened loads of times before, hasn't it? I mean, when you want to try to find something, you can't find it. Well, you get the picture. You guys see the pattern before. I don't need to show you guys. So, trigger plan remaining the same as yesterday. I'm just waiting. There's nothing really I liked within today's short-term trading here. If it, I mean, it depends on how you want to draw your bloody trend line. Get rid of this. Too much going on. I mean, each exchange is different. Let's go for the extreme ends. Yeah, let's go for extreme. It doesn't really matter. If it comes down, so it's breaking down. There's my trigger. Cut it a clean break, whatever the swing high was. Play towards here. Maybe aim towards here before it reaches that level. Target 1. As soon as target 1 gets hit, stops move to break even. And then the rest for target 2. Now, if it decides that it wants to go lower and you got out and it bounced a bit, so if you want to, if it comes here, starts swing fading, it's still a key support level. Okay, it's proving itself to be this key support level. So if it does this and bounces, okay, you can either trim some more or exit, and then you'd wait for the breakdown below that, and then you can get back in, target, target. Is everybody clear with that plan? Does that make sense? Straightforward, don't overthink it. That is all. Okay, now for the long target. Now, we're going to go to this right now. Let's see the weekly. Yeah, that's 6 high. Okay. Same play again, really. Basic SR play. And maybe even go for something simple as this. If it breaks above, I want to see a hold. Okay, you can even wait for the daily close. So what if you wait for the daily close? Breaks above and holds. There's your long. Target 1, target 2. Invalidation will be wherever the swing low is that took it above. Okay, and then we'll see. I don't think. I mean, I never know in crypto being crypto, but just be observed. These are the next objectives then. But these two will be the next main objectives if it triggers. Right in the middle of nowhere, I don't like this. Okay, now if I wanted to be aggressive, well, I've already been aggressive with F. Okay, if I wasn't in F and I wanted to be aggressive, I would start off with a wider stop, and that wider stop would I'd probably keep it around here, just, you know, a bit of a space around here. Maybe take the midpoint of this. So sometimes you can use these range levels for stop levels as well. So I mean, if you want to be really conservative, start off wider. There's two approaches. There's no real safe way, right way or wrong way, in my opinion. If you want to be real safe, I'm gonna say I took on a smack bang on this. I'd probably keep it above this range level. However, if it was to reclaim and hold above, I'd look to cut it. And then as it broke down below here, I'd tighten towards this high. Does that make sense? So that's one way of approaching it, because you never know, Bitcoin can squeeze quite harder than most think. Okay. The other way is, well, imagine this is the high, and you want to be aggressive. There's no point being aggressive. We've had a good time. We milked the whole leg, and we can chill a bit. We don't need to be aggressive and lose money for no reason. If you are going to be aggressive, use smaller size. Now, if I look at this using the intraday example, okay, where the stop's going to be resting intraday or intra-week, we're going to have this low there, and then we're going to have this low here. I'm going to go for more conservative. I'm going to go for that low there. That's capping it. You can see there's juicy stops resting below here. So what's happening is we've got the daily open. Let's go to the daily open. Okay, I'm already in the swing. I won't be taking it. I just have this risk thing. I don't want to be heading home. And in the evening, we'll see if we've got something to rest with. I really want to take something live. Once ETH can reduce my risk, I would tell you a live trade. But we'll see. So what we've got here is, there's the daily open. You can see it acting as SR. So intraday, if you want to take a trade, there's capping the downside. I'll wait for maybe a pullback. If I was to do this intraday, I'd cut it a clean break above, run these stops, target 1 area, target 2, possibly there, or just wait for the trigger plan below this level. Does that make sense? Is everybody clear? Again, I'd probably prefer the daily close. That's Bitcoin for now. Now, as we break out, once we start moving out of this range, it'll be easier. Okay. Going back to F now. I'm still in FUSD. There's my trade chart. Underwater, but risk is defined. Wasn't the best of entries, but sometimes you don't always get the best entries. Okay. Still holding. Still not stopped out. Now, if correct on the idea, that should be the high end. Otherwise, I mentioned the conservative plan, which was get it below this range level. Okay, below this range level. So we did that and start breaking down. Then target 1, target 2, and possibly 1400, target 3. Okay, we're gonna be quick, short-lived, because this I mean, this could go up from here as well. So we're going to be quick on this, and I am ready to take the loss and flip long. Hopefully I don't miss it, and because I'm of light. But basically, if you follow, say with Bitcoin, wait for that Bitcoin trigger. If Bitcoin gives us that long trigger, then we know automatically it's going to go up, right? So now is the line in the sand for both. So from a risk to reward perspective, you know you're going to have to flip long above mid-range for Bitcoin. Well, consider this that mid-range level. Okay, it's a similar thing. And technically it is between these two green lines. It's a different type of mid-range. So if it cleanly breaks up and holds, we're in violation whatever the swing low is. We take the hit, flip long, and we can go for this as the target. So 1675 is the main swing high target, so I'll go for that as first target. And then these two objectives, 1717 and 1759. We keep it level to level. This is the key region here, 1784. I'll tell you why in a second, because we do look at SR first. Let me finish this, and then we'll do GBP. Let me do one thing at a time. So we've got this here, and that will be the trigger there, cutting a clean break wherever the swing low is. Does that make sense? Everybody clear with FUSD? So yeah, have to take the risk. It's 1 hour risk. I know how much I'm going to lose, and that's it. Now the significance, remember, it's not just the range levels on its own. You gotta line up. Oopsie daisy. You gotta line up with that. So now it's gonna get messy here now. Okay. But see that 1675 level lines up with this high there, and that 1784. No, that looking but yeah, 1759. This region here lines up with that SR level. So that's the next level here. So for F, the proper stop run is that high there. That hasn't been done yet. Just like Bitcoin has done that first clean stop run, F hasn't. So if you wish to close this, that's fine as well. You cut it just under half an hour. It's up to you if you wish to close it. Okay. It's only less than half an hour risk right now, so you can close it. That's fine with that. And then if it does go down, well, you can wait. Let it break down, or let Bitcoin break down at least. If Bitcoin gives the trigger for a breakdown, then you got a trigger for this. Okay. I mean, if I take the midpoint of this, you can even use the midpoint of this, I guess. Let me see how that's looking. Lo and behold, they're the best one. I mean, okay, if you want to wait for a clean break, it's up to you. Or reduce your risk. There's nothing wrong with that. Because this is, wait for this, short term, target 1. The main one would be a clean break below here. Because the main range, I consider as this. This is key low. Once that key low breaks, then I'll be more confident. But, again, you can wait for a Bitcoin trigger. A lot of the time, that once I wait for a Bitcoin trigger, then I take the other one. But the short doesn't work out, I'm bullish confirmation. I don't understand your question. Taking full risk on F if short doesn't work out. Yeah, I mean normal risk. Your normal risk, yeah, take your normal risk. Yeah, I still believe short term the trend is up, I think. But yeah, I take my normal risk. Yeah, absolutely. Now I'm gonna give some confluence with this right now. So one of the reasons was the dollar index. Okay, I thought that would bounce a bit. Let's have a look. It's still, I mean, this will take me on to FX, but I want to do ES as well, which will relate to crypto as well. I want to raise my dollar index chart. Where are you, son of a bitch? Oh, gold hit target nicely. So it's not been that bad of a week. Just slow. Fuck. I lost it, haven't I? It's probably down here somewhere. I can't see it. Oh, there it is. I thought this level would hold a bit. This range level, and I thought this support area here. I mean, just for a bounce, I still think we go to 1960. I didn't want to get there straight away. So this region, I mean, it's still okay. It's still okay if I look at it for now. But maybe if it does, I'm not sure if it will. Maybe something like this, clean reclaim, and then we go for a short squeeze towards here. Okay. Whether it happens or not, so this blue box more or less is to hold. This range level is not as effective right now. Now with the cable, then with the ES, we'll do ES, then we'll do cable and euro. With the cable, GBP/USD. I mean, still valid. I thought it'd go down from here. Just because it wants to attempt another run up at the highs does not mean it's invalidated. Now, if you wish to close, that's fine. By then, wait for. Maybe it's just like intro. It's only what? a Tuesday. It's early in the week still. Okay, and this could just be a run on Monday's high, because often sometimes it does that, like this double top. So this time around it'll be a double top formation. So if you want to wait for that and cut or reduce risk and then add back in, that's not fine. I'm holding it. I know my invalidation. If it's gonna go all the way up there, most likely it's gonna continue higher. I might rip there in one go without us, but that's fine. That's no problem. We will reassess. We look for the next trade. So what if it goes without us? There's always the next trade. Okay, we're not gonna win every single one. You can break down, and that you could use that one as well. Okay, that's up to you. So I'm holding it. No reason to exit from ES yet. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Yes, it does. Yes, Matt, absolutely, Matt nailed it. Cable, especially in the FX space, Euro USD and cable, they often top out on a Tuesday or Wednesday. Tuesday is going to set an early high of the weekend and then expand lower. So in that case, glad you reminded me of that. I just do it and consider, assuming people know. If you look at this, I mean, this blue line here probably comes in line with last week's high. So what we do, and we're going to do ES. I don't know how I jumped onto this when I said I'm going to do ES. If I do this, take that as the weekly open. This time around, you're playing the weekly open strategy. Okay? So, if it breaks down this time, we're nailing it with the weekly open. So yes, there's nothing wrong with exiting it. And then just nail it. Wait for it. Clean breakdown. And that's a weekly open, but nice and clean. We've got a couple of days range unfolded for the week. And that should get there quite swiftly, in my opinion. Does that make sense? And for the long setup, I don't really have a clean long setup, to be honest with you. I did map it out before. I mean, it could fill that in and still be okay. I'm gonna have to come back on this with long setup, because the dollar index is at this key support for a possible band. This is key support. Nobody can deny this. I mean, look at support. Look at that bounce it led to. This is a big demand area. Oops, it is. Okay, so we'll see. I mean, last time it came to this range level, right? It came quite deep, didn't it? It's doing what it did last time here. And then once it consolidated for a bit, couple of days, and then once it got back above, sometimes it does that. It's not going to automatically take off after the range level. Sometimes that's the market. So many trades we get going our direction straight away. Other trades they just fuck about, piss about, and that's what you have to deal with. That's the market. Okay, all we know is where we're wrong, how much we're risking. The rest is up to the market. Everything can line up perfectly, and we're still wrong. So with this pair, I mean, look at this. It did the same. I mean, similar here. I mean, deeper. And once it resolved, big rocket launch. Okay. Obviously, this was an uptrend, but still doesn't matter. It doesn't mean you can't do something similar now. Below here, obviously, below here is where I'll say, okay, the next leg lower is going to be towards here. Now, if it goes in one swipe, okay, so be it. We missed it. If we can break down below, I'll start looking for some sort of short here. Not shorting dollar index, but by then I look for a long in Euro USD and cable GBP USD. Does that make sense? Confluence with that also. Just remember, people don't watch gold for dollar, but gold is very important, in my opinion. Gold has come to the big resistance area here. So usually, gold sort of tells you when the dollar's lying or not, a lot of the time. I mean, it depends on the different FA environments and stuff. Things change. But gold is at a big level here. Okay, I mean, the risk reward isn't as great now for longs. It's right at resistance area. This is major resistance. So if this starts coming off, then most likely you'll see when the dollar. That's why sometimes, I joke about sometimes, say, is gold telling us something? That's usually what I'm aiming at. Gold often has a clue. Now, this can go up. I'm not saying it's not, but it's a warning sign, isn't it? That's at resistance. We've got this at key resistance as well. I mean, okay, if you want to close it here, get back in later, that's fine. And Euro as well. If I look at Euro USD, and then I'll do ES. That's a wrong chart for Euro. But yeah, it's at resistance area. I mean, it's taking a major high. I wouldn't be surprised even if it wants to go higher like this, or maybe begin. Hasn't really had a decent dip yet, but again, there's no more fighting it. Maybe it is a bit aggressive, but the difference is to find. Now let me go to ES quick, and this is the important thing with ES. Now I am still in the swing long. Okay, that doesn't mean I'm gonna close it. We've been waiting for this one. How long did we wait for this one? This took the piss, didn't it? But finally, it took off. Again, it is a swing trade, obviously. Now, this is big resistance here. Now, if I look at this, if I clean this up, this region here is huge. The first main area, okay? This region here is huge. So we got dollar index into support, Bitcoin into big resistance. Now I still think it's going up, okay, but I'm going to show you a pattern ES often does, and then obviously deviation. Let's go back below. A bit of a sell-off, nothing major. Deviation, and that's all we need really. That kind of sell-off would be enough for a pullback. Agreed? This sort of sell-off in the ES is enough for a pullback in Bitcoin, and we're approaching that area again. So you see the confluence I'm looking at, or the way I'm thinking about it. Dollar into key support, gold into key resistance, Bitcoin, that macro mid-range that can't be denied, and ES at the same time. Now obviously if they bust through, so be it. But trades are planned beforehand. Now, that pattern, so it's a region where we could pull back, and where do I think it could pull back to? Now, if it starts breaking down, you might want to trim some more of the swing trade, okay? I might not be able to tweet to you if I'm on the flight, but, I don't know. It starts breaking down below here, clean breakdown below here, because you could always get back in. But trim some, doesn't have to close the whole position, just trim a bit more of the swing, I'd say, because we could always load up, say it breaks down. But I would say, like this, previous range lows area, and then reclaim, and then back again, and that should be enough to give us a pullback in Bitcoin to start looking for longs. I really want to look for longs as well. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I mentioned the swing long as well for Bitcoin as a pullback scenario, something like that, okay, and new highs. So and where did it happen before? So it happens quite often. So let's look at this, okay. Sometimes we don't notice it, it's not as clean. But if I look at this right now, let's say this is a consolidation, that's the consolidation. So there it breaks out. That's the low that then broke it out. So it does that. This is not as big one, but it often does that a lot. And then swing fails it. If you look back historically, it's a pattern I notice a lot with ES. Or maybe I'm just noticing it. I don't know. That would be the swing low there. There would be nothing wrong with similar thing. I'm not saying short it, by the way. We wait for the dip. If not, it could just continue marching up, something like that. And then obviously these highs are next. Okay. Now, the pullback scenario of Bitcoin before I forget. In case it does that deep pullback, I mean, maybe if I look at this chart, it's a bit easier to see. I mean, a deep pullback, and this is what I thought. If they're gonna do it, it could happen. I'm not sure. I mean, again, we can plan ahead. We could have our reasons for it, but you know, it may not happen. So I'm prepared for it to not happen. So the pullback scenario for this, come back down, retest the range low area. And this is the easiest, the way it looks, and then reclaim a trend line, target 1, target 2. That's one way of looking at it. Quite an easy, simplified way of looking at it. The other chart is same thing really, but just using range levels. Okay, if it makes it easier to see, because then you can define a reclaim of range level as confluence. Okay, so if it does that pullback, every time you pull, see this there too. See, this is nothing new, by the way. Let's go back historically and remind ourselves why it can do this. And this was still while it was trying to make new lows. It comes into this area. Once this level is reclaimed, after this, where does it go to? Towards there. Pushes all the way back down towards range lows. Rallies there. Once it reclaims, range lows. So it's done this a couple of times. It's nothing new. I'm a fucking pen. There's no reason why it can't come back into here. It's done it before a couple of times. There. So once this level region gets reclaimed, often there. So you can actually assume resistance to prove it otherwise. But yes, I understand the caution, because if it's going to bear market rally, it may just launch up, but that's fine. We're going to get it there. So if it does come back down, then wait for that reclaim, just like here. At least it pushes up towards here, right? When reclaim, at least we got target 1 there, and then it does another dive. Where does it go? Towards there, and then there. So reclaim there. If it does that, I'm not saying it will, but be prepared. Its market is choppy right now because it's had a big trend. What do you expect? When market has a big trending move, I mean, we're gonna get choppiness, aren't we? Look at this consecutive daily up candles. That's what happened, isn't it? It's gonna go through a consolidation phase. So that's why. Okay. I mean, I'd be surprised if it just kept on going through. I'm like, what the fuck is this? But I mean, obviously it can be consecutive days, but remember this: with Bitcoin, when it does consecutive days, it leads to like And from that, I was like 41, call it 42k, may round it up to 30k. That's the 10k pullback he did here. I'm not saying they do here. That's a 10k pullback. And then they continued up. But that's consecutive daily candles. And people forget this day. Look at this. One. Oops, daisy. Let's mark this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That daily candle. And just because it closed up, we cannot forget, people forget about it. But that was a flush. You know what I mean? That's what we're looking for. If it happens, it's just flush it. I mean, 33, 660. Yeah, that's a decent flush, that is. So flushes do happen. It's just that way. Sometimes we can, you know, let our cognitive bias kick in, cognitive dissonance kick in, and forget, ignore it. But it will happen at some point. It will happen, even if it's a bear market rally. I mean, it looks like a high Kanashi candle, doesn't it? Yeah, that's my point. And if it's gonna happen, whether it's a deviation, it could be a deviation, by the way. Again, it'll be resolved once more price action unfolds. I can give more plans. Right now, I can only work with what we've got. Usually, once we got more range unfold, we can mark it out more. That's about it for now. Euro USD, ES. Yep, and we'll see what happens. Is everybody clear with the plans? I'm just sticking with this for now. So if Bitcoin breaks out, then I'll be fine with the alts as well. Then, and otherwise we'll see what happens. Okay, take care. Let's see how today resolves. May do another update tonight once I get home. I may not be able to update because of no reception, but once I'm home, we'll do some updates. Let's see in the evening how we're at. Maybe get a clearer picture to work with. Okay, macro BTC chart. How would you become institute? I don't know where macro bottom is. There's no point. For macro Bitcoin, nobody really knows. They're all making up numbers. Everybody makes up on numbers. So there's no point thinking about something that's not possible. Really, it's not really possible to know where the macro bottom will be. The macro bottom will probably be in when I know where ES bottom is in, and that's after the fact. Okay, after it bottoms out, consolidates. Nobody knows. So whoever says they know is lying. So a question like that, I can't really answer. I mean, I can mark a possible scenario, for example's sake. If I mark this out like this, yeah, like that. If it did this, possibly, and then reclaim, I could say possible macro bottom in, even until then, and then you could easily do that as well. But there's no, I don't believe in such thing as a macro bottom until the equities bottom out. And that's it. Even then we don't know. So yeah, we don't need to worry about that till then. Okay, take care. Catch you guys.